And you're live.
Hey everyone, CC Underwood here with Lab Coats. We are here to doing a deep dive on agents' businesses with our 10-minute labs. And we are here today with the amazing father of real estate, Saul Klein. How are you?
I'm great, CC. Thanks. How are you doing?
I'm great. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, so we're going to get started. We want to know a little about you and your business. So what has been your biggest challenge during COVID?
Boy, my biggest challenge has been not to be able to go out and be around the people that I'm used to being around at this point in my career. So a lot of what I have been doing over the last 10 years has been learning everything I can, go to all the trade shows, continue to deal with my relationships with people in all different aspects of the industry. And what's happened is all been shut down. And we can do Zooms and we can get together, but it's not quite the same. So for me, and again, I'm more fortunate than many people in this, and that I'm just by where I am in life and my age and so forth. So what I was doing wasn't as effective. That was the biggest thing. And I think it's probably the same for most people, is being cut off from humanity.
Oh, yeah. So how many years have you been in real estate?
I got my sales license in 1975, and I got my broker's license in 1977. I joined the National Association of Realtors in 77. I've been a member for 40-some years. Long time.
The ups and the downs. And so as far as a change, right, a disruption in your business, you've seen this before.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been through economic cycles before. And so, if you've been in real estate any period of time, you usually see at least one turn in the cycle. And I've seen all the turns in the cycle since 1970. The first big one I remember is 1979. And there's always a different kind of outcome, and there's always a way to survive, and there's always a change. And I saw big changes in the 80s when there was the same kind of thing that's going on today, where Metropolitan Life Insurance bought Century 21s. They had life insurance buying a real estate company, had Merrill Lynch buying, had Sears by Payne Weber. And so the same kind of thing where you had aggregation, we had that in the 80s, and it changed some people's business models. So there's always change. And the thing I like to say about change is always going on. It might not be enough change so that it manifests in something that becomes tangible and visible to you and me, but it's always kind of taking place. So, and particularly in the real estate industry, and a lot more coming.
Yes. And so they say, change is the only constant. You know this is going to happen. You don't necessarily know what change will happen. But like you said, it comes in cycles, and there's 18% interest rates back then.
Yeah.
People are going, how in the heck did you sell real estate at 18%?
So we did, and we bought real estate at 18. And my best investment, I like to tell this story. I still own this property with two guys I went to high school with, and my real estate partner. In 1978, we bought a commercial property with two houses on it. It was a car wash. It still exists. We bought it. It was $180,000. We scraped together $12,500 a piece, $50,000. The owner carried back what we called an all-inclusive trust deed, where he wrapped two existing Bank of America loans, charged us 10%, which we thought was a bargain.
That was the deal.
Yeah. So you make it work. And see, that's the nice thing about interesting thing about real estate. Nice thing about a career in real estate, whatever that might be for you and for me, is the choice, and is the ability to make those changes and stay in business, be you a sole proprietor or some other form of ownership. It's a changing marketplace. And so it really takes a hardy soul to sell real estate.
It is not for the lighthearted. So with that changes, if you can remember before when you first started changing, I know, and I see sometimes in my business every 3 years, it seems to be there's some change either internally, the way real estate is done, an interest rate, the crash, the market. So you having 40 years, what was it like when you had to adapt to that first change and again, and then you hit the pandemic? Were you just like, okay?
So I was always worried about making enough money to feed the family. At the same time, trying to put away some money so that we had a rainy day fund, and at the same time plan so that the kids could go to college. And so it was a constant, we would do anything we could particularly through a couple of downturns in the economy, because we didn't want to get out of the real estate, and that's it. We didn't want to get out of the real estate business, right? Wanted to stay, so we did anything we could. And I remember at our car wash property building bins so that people could leave aluminum cans so that we could take them down and cash them in, because every penny mattered.
Yeah.
And I had a really good friend, past president of the California Association of Realtors. His father was a realtor, and he used to say he knew how, as a kid growing up, he knew how good the year was based on how many presents were under the Christmas tree.
Oh, you know what? That's probably what the kids could do. I mean, you said something is you do whatever it takes, anything you can. And the crash is BPOs, right? They're at $40. Do whatever you can to get $40 in real estate.
You do what you can. So it kind of is interesting to me. I hear people talk about firing clients, right? I hear that conversation a lot. And I was always I would never fire a client. Now, because I had to struggle. Now, there are certain things I might not do, and there's certain, right? But a client, somebody that I get current business and possible future business, I'm going to turn over every stone. Now, at different points in your career, you have a little bit more choice. But a lot of people in real estate really struggle. They initially struggle, and a lot of people throughout their careers struggle. And so sometimes I think the conversations are unfair to those people who have to struggle, and it's like they're giving it up because they want to put food on the table, right? And it's not an easy choice for them.
Like I said, until you have that financial ability to make a choice, you just go with it. So what advice would you give a newer or less experienced agents now in the digital world, where there's so much, I don't want to say pompous, but there's so much, bragging around what we do and how much we sell? What advice would you give to some newer agents?
Yeah, it's that's a tough question, right? So, and I actually, my granddaughter's thinking about getting into real estate. And I talked to her about this. And so what kind of advice? Well, personally, it's you can't be shy. You have to be willing to step out. You have to be willing to ask questions. You have to be almost fearless. And so that's important for people. And you got to remember that because of the nature of the business and the compensation model, there are no guarantees. And so you have to be able to take the good with the bad, and you have to learn how to budget. There's lots of things too. So I'd be really, really excited about people who are interested in running their real estate business as a business. That's the first thing. I think people don't think about it. They think about the expenses, the income, the expenses, how it works, how you run a business, how you keep separate records, real basic stuff. Fundamentals.
IRS, my goodness.
Fundamentals, quarterlies, all those kinds of distractions, right? Mm-hmm. But get the fundamentals, because if you get those out of the way and things you don't have to worry about, it's gonna clear your mind to be able to do other things that are equally as important. So, for a new agent getting in, understands the business, learn how to prospect, know that prospecting is one of those things that can take a lot of time. Prospecting results in leads. There are lots of ways to generate leads. There are lots of people talking about this as a relationship business. There are many different angles to this. And it's important that people know that there's also capital that's required just to stay in it long enough to start to make something. And oftentimes people aren't told that.
Right. They tell you you don't need money, right? You just go talk to enough people, you can door knock, you can do all these free things. And yes, to some degree, when you're looking at, hey, this is what I do to provide for my family. And right, there's that question of ROI. Well, if you spend a little money, right, you spend money to make money. Know your budgeting, kind of what you were saying. If you had to spend money and do one thing in real estate, it takes a little bit of both, a little bit of money, a little bit of leads, a little bit of relationship.
Yeah, it does, right? Plan. So that's a big one. Plan. And know that there are different types of plans. And along with the plan goes a budget. And along with that goes keeping track of things and accountability and right, all those things. Building rapport all the time. At the top of your mind. So this year, at the top of your mind, engagement. Do everything you can to engage people. Constantly engage. Engage to the nth degree. People give you opportunities to engage. Don't be lazy. Take that opportunity to engage. Take that opportunity in social media. Take that opportunity in real life if you have it. And oftentimes we get lazy. But if we're in a business where we have to constantly generate prospects, we have to constantly engage and keep that at the forefront of our mind. And this year I'm saying engage to the nth degree.
Well, that's so powerful. I hope everyone, watching and hearing this, it's not just talking at people. What he's saying is engagement, meaning they're communicating back with you. So find ways to build true connections. And we've got just a minute and a half here. So what do you think the biggest mistake that agents are making right now?
Oh, I don't know of any biggest one mistake that agents are making today. I think that the people that I know that sell real estate are doing everything they can. And fortunately, the market's good and interest rates are low. And so even though we have the disaster of COVID, we have some blessings, right? We do have good markets. We do have demand for real estate. People are selling, and it could be a lot worse.
It definitely could be a lot worse. Any final words, Saul?
I'd say be prepared for more changes. Look for big changes coming down the road. Think about this paradigm shift question and ask yourself this every day. What's currently impossible to do in your business? And if it were possible, it would fundamentally change the way you do business. And then the other side of that question, what's currently possible? It's possible, like an offer of compensation. What's currently possible? And if it were impossible, it would fundamentally change the way you do business. That's where your future is.
I love that. So plan for change. You don't know what it is. Plan. Well, thank you so much, Saul, for being in. I hope you guys have enjoyed our 10-minute labs and digging into the mindset of someone who's been there, done that, and still kicking it in real estate. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cece. Take care.
Bye-bye.